60-day mark and the 30-day mark is where things get real. Something else that I like to do is I like to have the Walt Disney World website, which is the harder ones to get first. This is a new resort that your girl is staying. I want to remember is taxes and tips. A very, very like loose itinerary. And then over here, it is time to get down to business. She's completely over me. I'm actually gonna take these off while I talk to you guys. Because the resort TV is like blaring in my glasses and I feel like I can't see while I'm like recording. However, hello everyone and welcome to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Amana and we are 61 days out from our upcoming Walt Disney World trip. I love making these videos. My favorite thing in the world is to plan Walt Disney World trips because it just gives me one, a countdown to our upcoming trip, but two, it just makes it feel super real. So we are gonna go into a deep dive of how to plan for an upcoming Walt Disney World trip. So in today's video, we're gonna go over important dates that you need to know when booking your Walt Disney World trip, a day-to-day itinerary. So this is gonna be like a semi-loose, semi-permanent itinerary because then we're gonna talk about planning dining, planning outfits, and just purchasing necessities, as well as budgeting. And then after we're done, we'll wrap it right up and then we'll talk about what to expect in the next vlog for this planning series for our Walt Disney World trip. Let's get started. She's not very happy, so I'm pretty sure you guys can see that. I took her toy because she quite literally wanted to start chewing it and you can hear it while I'm talking. She wasn't playing with it whatsoever before I started recording, so she just has to wait until I'm finished doing this and I will give her her toy back, but she won't go in the room, so we're just gonna be with Miss Grumpy Gills over here. Let's get into this Disney World planning. So when it comes to planning a Walt Disney World trip, there are 3 key time frames that you need to know when you are getting ready to plan for your trip. The first one is your 365 to 60-day time frame. That seems like a big jump. It is. However, the reason why I say you want to know that time frame is because typically Disney World will announce their packages for the following year around like early summer or even like late spring, just depending on like what they have going on. So I've seen it come out as late as June, or I've seen it come out as early as April. So it really just depends on what Disney has going on. So you won't necessarily know exactly when. You just want to make sure you guys are following the Disney World Instagram page because that's where they post everything. You can follow it on Disney Parks, they'll announce it. However, during that time frame, that's when you guys are going to want to book your hotels, book your flights, and start coming up with a very loose, when I say very loose, I mean a very loose itinerary. And that's because you guys don't want to solidify anything in case anything changes or you just don't really know what you have planned, so you guys just want to kind of, you know, do some brain dumping. So that's what you're going to want to do between the 365 and 60-day mark. Right before the 60-day mark, this is what we're going to be doing today. We're going to be going over a semi-loose, semi-permanent time frame because between the 60-day mark and the 30-day mark is where things get real. So you're gonna want to start planning your dining around 62 days because dining reservations open at the 60-day mark if you are staying on property. This is very important. If you're staying on property, you're going to want to know what dining reservations that you're going to pick because at 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, you will be picking your dining reservations for your upcoming Disney trip. So between that 60 and 30 days, this is where you're gonna pick dining, you're gonna pick your magic bands, you're gonna make, you know, small adjustments to your trip. If that means flights, hotels, anything like that, you want to be able to solidify all of that within that time frame. And then you're going to have your 30 to 7-day mark, and we'll go over that in the next video. However, just for some key points, you're going to want to pay your vacation balance in full because you have to pay it 30 days before you arrive. That's when you should be looking at Amazon orders, Instacart orders, you know, packing lists, anything that you may need to purchase and that you'll be able to get within that 30-day mark before the 7-day mark. And then when you're coming up on the 7-day mark, that's when you're gonna be picking your lightning lanes. That's the most important thing that you guys are gonna wanna know for that time frame. However, we're gonna have a whole video on that, so we'll skip over that today and we'll focus on the 60 to 30-day mark today. So when it comes to planning my Walt Disney World trip, I like to have a piece of paper where I write down a very loose itinerary. So I like to put it in 3 different blocks. So I'll put like the itinerary on one side, the dining reservations that I'm gonna wanna secure for my 60-day mark, and then I'm gonna have a list of what I'm gonna do each day. Now this is very rough because you don't know if you're gonna get these dining reservations, but you're gonna wanna know what you're doing each day so that you can pick the time for the dining reservations. So I'm gonna be, doing that a little bit later with you guys. However, I wanted you guys to see how I structure my reservations. Something else that I like to do is I like to have the Walt Disney World website pulled up so that I can research whatever I'm going to want to do. So I know that there's a few new things that they have going on at Walt Disney World by the time I get there in August, like the Dream Lights Parade that's going to be at Magic Kingdom. There's the Little Mermaid show and the Villain show at Hollywood Studios, and there's no festival at Epcot, so this is where you get to really experience Epcot without a festival. I think that Epcot is still a great park to go to even without a festival. So this is where you're gonna wanna get down into the nitty gritty. So let's go ahead and get to planning. So yeah, that didn't take me any time at all. I'm gonna do like a more in-depth one a little bit later, but whenever I start my planning process, I always create a very, very like loose itinerary, and then over here I'll put like the dining based off of what I want to try this trip. I am trying really hard to try new things. I have found what I love at Walt Disney World, so like I'm usually like, I'm going there, I know I'm gonna have a good time, and I'll just like kind of go about it that way. However, we are trying new things this trip. We have a few Disney World trips this year where I have some great reservations. So, or I don't have the reservations yet, but I have some great plans to make the reservations. So make sure to hit that subscribe button because we are going to have a lot coming for you because I'm really excited about the things that I have planned. However, so I 1000% advocate for a nighttime flight, and the reason being is because I'm on the West Coast, so we lose a lot of time when we go to Walt Disney World from the West Coast. We lose a lot of time when we travel to Walt Disney World because we are 3 hours behind. So I always advocate to fly. She's being so obnoxious. So I always advocate for our West Coasters to fly the night before because we lose so much time, and you'll get there around 5, 6 a.m. I know that's early. However, you can spend the entire day just either going to a park or having a resort day or going to the water park, because check-in days at Walt Disney World, if you're staying on property, you get a free water park ticket for your entire family that's staying with you. So that's why I always advocate for us to get there earlier in the morning, because it's not possible if we leave at like 6 a.m. Plus, you will never catch me going to LAX at 6 a.m. That's just not even happening. I can't even fathom doing that. Like, I can't even wake up that early. That's just a no. I am a night owl. I like to be up at night. So we are always going to be a night girly on this channel. So, but yeah, so over the loose itinerary, and something that I do suggest is for you to base your itinerary on where you're staying. So for me, I'm not gonna share the hotel just yet. I will tell you guys what resort I'm staying at probably in the next video, or my pack with me. You'll just have to subscribe just to see which one we're staying at, but this is a new resort that your girl is staying at, and I'm so excited. This is some people's like dream resort. I've already stayed at my dream resort, resort. I'm very lucky that I was able to get this resort, so I'm very excited to stay here, but it's not my dream one. It should be, but it's not. So based on my itinerary, put in the comments down below what you guys think it will be. So Friday night, I just have a night flight, and then Saturday, I'm gonna do a Disney Springs resort day. I don't like planning park days on my travel days. One, because it's just a lot. Sometimes I will go to Animal Kingdom, but you're just doing a lot, and we'll talk about that a little later. Then we have Sunday, which is gonna be a full Magic Kingdom day. I have not spent a lot of time in Magic Kingdom since like 2021. My other trips have been solely like Animal Kingdom and Epcot. So I was like, you know what? Let's spend a lot of time at Magic Kingdom. And then Monday, we have an Epcot to Hollywood Studios Park Hopper Day. And I'm really excited about that because I get to see Fantasmic and all of the other shows at Hollywood Studios. I feel like, you know, that's like peak Disney when the live entertainment is back. So I'm really excited about that. And then Tuesday, we fly home. So I always have a really late flight. It's gonna be around 7 or 8 p.m. I try to take the latest flight possible. That is a nonstop, so that I don't have to stop nowhere, because that's also something to know about me. I will not take a connecting flight ever. Like, if I don't have to, I will not do it. But that means we're gonna just be chilling at the resort, probably do a little like bar crawl or something. We'll see like what we can get into during the day, but I'm not gonna like rush it. It's gonna be hot, so like I'm gonna play it by ear. So that's what I mean by making a very loose itinerary. And then based off of this itinerary is what I want to make for my dining reservation. So because I have a longer trip planned, like quite literally very quickly after this trip, I'm only gonna do 2 dining reservations. The first one is gonna be brunch at Homecoming. I have not ate there for brunch yet. I've had lunch and dinner, but never brunch. And then I want to do breakfast at the Grand Floridian Cafe. I'm hearing from the girly pops that this is supposed to be like one of the best brunches that they have on Walt Disney World property. So I'm interested to try it out. So that's what I mean by a loose itinerary. So now that we have our loose itinerary and the dining that we want, we'll talk about a little bit about picking your dining. So what I like to do is when I have like a longer list, I like to choose the harder ones to get first. So I'll just take my piece of paper and I'll have like the list of what the dining is, and I'll label them 1 through 3. Typically I'll put them in the order anyways, but you should put them in order of the hardest to get. So Homecoming is definitely one of the harder reservations to get at Walt Disney World. I heard for Grand Floridian Cafe, you can just walk in. Because I'm taking this trip solo, I'm not too like worried about me having to like get the reservation. So like can sit at the bar at Homecoming, and I'm pretty sure I can get my name on the list for Grand Floridian Cafe, but we're still gonna secure it because I want to make sure that I have a seat for Homecoming for sure. So that's what I would do if I'm planning the dining and going to be picking it at 6 a.m. just so that I know what to get. However, some tips that I have for you if you don't get the time that you want is I would select whatever you can and then give it about 30 to 45 minutes and refresh the page, because people will secure things and then they'll go and move on to like whatever else, and they'll start adjusting their time frames, and your time that you originally wanted that you may not have gotten may pop up. And I would keep looking. I would just keep looking, keep trying to refresh, keep trying to adjust the dates and the times so that you can try to get the reservation that you originally wanted. However, the reason why you want to do that too is because of this loose itinerary. So if I'm going to Epcot and Hollywood Studios, I'm not going to put my breakfast at the Grand Floridian Cafe on those days. It's going to be on my Magic Kingdom day because it's in that area. So you're going to want to make sure that you're planning your dining around wherever you're going to be at. You don't want to go from Animal Kingdom Lodge all the way over to Topolino's Terrace. Oh my God, if I can talk. And then go over to Magic Kingdom. Like, that is just way too much. That's taking too much out of your day. So what you're gonna wanna do is you're gonna wanna pull up the map on My Disney Experience, and you're gonna wanna look at where everything is. So typically it'll tell you when you're on the website, like what area it's in. So you'll see, I'm just gonna screenshot it and put it on here. So you'll see like you'll have all of the resorts down here for Magic Kingdom, and then you'll have the park here. So if you know that Grand Floridian Cafe is at, you know, the Grand Floridian, then you're gonna know that how close you are. So that's what I mean by strategically planning your dining. Now, when I say pick what you can, I wouldn't pick Grand Floridian Cafe for Thursday if you know that you're gonna be at Magic Kingdom on Tuesday. Like, that just doesn't make any sense to do. However, this will help alleviate you from having to take multiple modes of transportation and just losing time on your vacation, because time is key. Having as much time as possible during your Walt Disney World vacations is a must. Now that we've gotten the dining down, we've gotten our loose itinerary, I'm gonna make a step-by-step itinerary for like what I have planned in the morning, in the afternoon, and then just kind of have some alternatives. But before we get into that, I want to talk a little bit about budgeting. That is everyone's favorite topic, I know, but it's important to discuss budgeting when you are planning your Walt Disney World trips. At this point in your planning, you already have like your flights and you already have your resort. So those things are taken care of. And you should have your park tickets, but if you don't, then this would be a good time to purchase those as well, because now you have your park days and which parks you're going to be going to, because you do have to select the park days if you're going to be purchasing them separately, which I don't see why you would do that if you're making a vacation package. But if you don't, then you should have that done at this time. So now that you have all of that down, it's time to budget for your dining, because that's where most of your money is being spent, is your dining. Something that I like to do is I like to go on the website and look at each of the individual menus and kind of get a frame of like how much I'll spend. What I like to do is I like to have an appetizer, probably 2 drinks, and my entree for whenever I'm sitting down, and that's for every restaurant. So I typically will look at what 2 entrees that I know I will get, but they might have something special on the menu when you get there, so I would, you know, up it like $2 or $3 and then write that down. Something that you are gonna wanna remember is taxes and tips. These are the 2 things that I see people always forget when they are budgeting for Walt Disney World. You still have taxes when you get there, so it's added onto your bill, and then you also have to tip. So let's say your bill, you budgeted $95, but you didn't budget the taxes and the tip, so your bill should be about $110. So now you're like, oh my goodness, I was overspent by $15. What do I do now? That's where your budgeting comes in. So if you haven't seen my other planning video, I'll link it down below, but I went over my budgeting template. This has helped me keep on track for my Walt Disney World vacations, where I just go through the menus and I just come up with a loose budget. I just, you know, look at a couple things. Okay, I think I'll spend this, and it automatically calculates the taxes and the tip for you. And what I do is I put the tip amount in cash. So if I know for the entirety of my trip, I'm gonna be giving $115 worth of tips for my sit down meals only, then I will take out $115 in cash, and then the remainder that's out of that total, I'll put on a Disney gift card, so I do not go over that budget. So those are things that you can do to help with staying on budget at Walt Disney World, and it'll help you think about the little things. The little things are what people forget when they are budgeting for Walt Disney World. So you're gonna be like, oh, the trip is gonna be, we'll make a number, $3,000, and now you're at $4,500 because you forgot about those little things. So that's for budgeting for dining. I can't tell you what to budget for merchandise. You're just gonna have to come up with the ballpark of what you're comfortable with spending, because I don't know what your financial means are. So spirit jerseys are about $90, ears are about $35, so that gives you a rough range of like how much things are. But yeah, so I, you know, set aside some money for that too. Put it on a Walt Disney World gift card, because then you won't be swipe, 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 tap, tap, tap. Because I am a tap, tap, tapper. I tap, tap, tap. Especially when the drinks are flowing at Epcot. Tap, tap, tap. We just tap, tap, tap away. So that's something that you're gonna wanna do when you're budgeting for your Walt Disney World trip. The other thing that you're gonna wanna budget for are those out of mind expenses. So that's your outfits, your Amazon order, your Instacart order. And that's something that I like to do. I like to look at before I start purchasing. I will put everything in my Amazon cart and I will see how much it is. I typically will purchase everything off of Amazon between that 30 and 7-day time frame that we talked about a little bit earlier. And that will help with me being able to set that money aside so that, you know, I'm not worried about it that month, and because we're already going to be at Disney World spending a bunch of money, and I just don't want to have to worry about it at that time. So you're going to want to look at like an Amazon cart. You know, I think you have a rough idea of how much you spend on groceries, but remember that Instacart adds taxes, tips, and delivery fees. So what I like to do is make a mock order of what I want to bring, and then like some things that I can put in my carry-on and my suitcase, I will do that, so I don't have to put it in the Instacart order and have it add up. But yeah, what I would do is make a mock order probably a couple months before, just seeing how much things are so that you're not shocked at how much you're spending when it comes to that. So that's some other things that you're going to want to keep in mind. If you guys want to know what I bring to Walt Disney World, especially during the summer, I have my Amazon storefront linked down below. I do get a small commission from that. It's no extra cost to you, but these are like my go-tos. I have this stuff in rotation at all times. If I feel like my fan is dying and I need a new one, I know where to get it from. I have a water bladder and a water bottle in there, a phone stand to take pictures because you're going to want to take pictures with you and your family. So some easy content things that you guys can utilize, and just some go-to Disney items like a mister, anything that you could think of in my Amazon storefront. So the link is down below if you guys want to check that out. But yeah, so those are some things that you want to think of when you're budgeting for your Walt Disney World trip. Okay, and then this section right here is very niched down. So this is for my girlies that love to get dressed at Disney. I love to have a cute little matching outfit whenever I go to Disney World. I love wearing Spirit jerseys, but it's too hot for that in the summer. So right now I am in the process of outfit planning. So I like to look at some of my small business creators Instagram accounts and see when they're going to be dropping. And you're going to typically, if you like to support small businesses and you want to just, you know, wear some different Disney styles than what you would get from like Walmart or Old Navy or anything like that, this is a good time to purchase it because sometimes it takes them a little longer to fulfill orders, and this will make sure that you have your outfit before you leave. So I typically do this no later than 45 days out, so still between that 60 and 30-day time frame. So this is where all that outfit planning is. I usually just take my iPad and I will go in and take screenshots of different shirts and pants and things like that and just kind of put them in order. Yeah, I like to kind of just put them in order, and I also like to line it up with the day. So if I'm gonna be going to Magic Kingdom, like I really want to do a Rapunzel bound, and I think I'm just gonna get like a purple athletic dress, but I also found this like cute little shirt off of Shein, but it's sold out right now. So like I'm hoping that it will come back in stock by the time I'm ready to purchase everything. So I really want to do a Rapunzel bound for my Magic Kingdom day. For Epcot and Hollywood Studios, I haven't really figured it out yet. Still kind of looking around. Disney Springs, I want to get a little cute, so we'll have like a cute little date night outfit, even though like I'm going solo, but like a little date night outfit just to get like, you know, a little glammed up or something. And then I definitely need like a resort day outfit, so a pool hat, pool bag, pool attire, all of that, so I can at least walk around the resort and be covered up. And if I need to go back inside and come back, then I can do that. But also just having some sort of resort outfit. I think I'm just gonna wear like a big tee with the resort name and just get a hat from Magical Studio Co. I think that's what their name is. I don't know. I'll make sure that I have it correct here, but I think I'm gonna do that. So outfit planning is something that you're gonna want to do between this 60 and 30-day mark, because you want to make sure you get all your items in time, but also you're going to want to make sure that you like what you get. So this also goes right back into budgeting. So I won't be purchasing everything, like the bigger items, until probably like 45 to 30 days out. And at that point, I will know like how much more I'm spending when it comes to like outfits and just little trinkets and things like that that I like to bring for my Disney trip. Now, this is definitely optional. You don't have to do this. I just like to do it because I like to get a little dressed up and have a nice little outfit for when I'm at Disney World. And that kind of just wraps up my little segment about like how to plan during this 60 to 30 day mark. Tomorrow morning, I will see you guys to pick my dining, and then we will close out the vlog. So fingers crossed that we get homecoming, because I'm really excited to try that for brunch. If not, I think I have another alternative in my head, but I think I can just walk up to it because I am by myself. But yeah, I will see you guys in the morning. I actually did not wake up at 2:45 a.m. That's why I have no b-roll of me doing it. I was exhausted, and I actually had a hip injury from the weekend, and I could not do anything. Like doing anything just wasn't working. So I was able to secure some reservations, but I did switch it up. So I like to watch a few like videos on the restaurants that I'm going to, just to see like if it's gonna work for me, because I am a picky eater. And two of the restaurants that I wanted to secure, which was either Narcoossee's or Citricos. I did put Citricos as the one I really wanted, but I saw some videos and was like, oh, Narcoossee's looks kind of good too. But the one thing that I don't know about is like they pre-make their drinks, and that's just not something that I like when I'm going to a restaurant. So I was deciding if I should just do the bar, because both areas have a bar, and me being solo for this trip, going and sitting at the lounge bar area seemed a little bit more practical for me, because I don't want to sit down and take up a table, one, and two, like if they're gonna be pre-making their drinks, like I'm just gonna order some wine, and I would rather just make it a quick meal at that point. Maybe if I like go with my family or friends later down the line, I'll sit down at the main dining. But I ran across the Crystal Palace in my videos, and I'm very intrigued. I'm actually excited because I did secure a reservation, and I don't know why I cannot find it. I'm just like scrolling through my phone. So I did get homecoming. I got a 11:45 a.m. homecoming brunch. So I think that's going to be enough time for me to do the main things that I want to do at Animal Kingdom, which is going to be Kilimanjaro Safari and Everest. And then if I have time, Flight of Passage. I don't know if I'm going to buy Lightning Lane for it. I haven't decided yet, which I'm glad we're at the 60-day mark. I have until 7 days before to make my decision. I'll probably do that a little later, but was able to get that. And then I was able to get an 8:20 a.m. Crystal Palace buffet character breakfast, and I'm very intrigued because they have these they have these churro Mickey waffles that are supposed to be like really great. I know a lot of people rave about them on the Disney cruise. So I saw that and I was like, oh, secure. So that replaced my Grand Floridian Cafe reservation, because I really wanted to have breakfast at the Grand Floridian, because I heard that they have really great breakfast options and Magic Kingdom does not. But I'll sit down for the character breakfast. That's ideal for me. So I'll probably do Lightning Lane for my Magic Kingdom day, because I don't plan on park hopping that day at all. Those are the two dining reservations that I did secure. So coming up next in the next series of the vlog, I'll probably skip the 30-day mark because there's not too much that I have to do. You guys will get a pre-haul and a week of type of vlog. So the pre-haul will be everything that I need to buy for this trip. I actually need to do a full restock for all of my Disney purchases, and I'll leave my Amazon link down below for most of the things that I'm gonna be purchasing. But you'll probably get a pre-haul from me because I do need to get some outfits and things like that. I don't have any clothes for Disney World for the summertime, so just gonna be grabbing that and showing you guys that. And then we'll do like a week before, like 7-day type thing where I'm prepping and doing Lightning Lane if that's something that I do decide to do, but I'll let you guys know that at that time. So if you guys like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. I hope this was very helpful for you. I like taking people through my planning process because one, I'm a type A/B planner. Like, I will make a strict schedule, but I also am very, very flexible. So I don't do like the time slotted scheduling when it comes to Disney World, only if I do Lightning Lane and dining reservation. So this one you'll probably see a little bit more time slots, but other ones I'll just do like, oh, this is what I'm doing for that day, and then I'll go with the flow. I'm a very go with the flow girl when I get to Walt Disney World. So I'm very excited. Make sure to hit that subscribe button because we have so much coming for you guys. We still have to go to Disneyland to do more of the 70th anniversary. I hope you guys have watched that vlog, and we should be rounding out the Asia series. I really enjoyed rewatching all of that. I can't believe I've been to all of the Disney resorts in the world before I go on a tangent. But yeah, so make sure to hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you real soon. Bye.